Hi guys, it is April from Getting Hooked with It. I want to thank you again so much for being a Patreon and supporting my channel. It means so much to me. Today we're going to dive into a video all about how to read like a Gemini. I know we're a little bit late to the party, but if you're a Gemini, I'm wishing you a very happy birthday. If you're not, I think you're still gonna like this video. So Geminis are from May 21st to June 20th, I believe. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure those are the dates. And Geminis are very well known for being very intelligent people, for being incredibly outgoing and adaptable. I mean, everybody has their flaws, so they're also known for being a little impulsive, maybe a little bit unreliable, indecisive, maybe a touch bit nosy, but I mean, we all have faults. But today we are going to focus on the characteristic of being adaptable. So I have a big old pile of books, 7 books, about characters who are adaptable to their situations. So let's get into it. Okay, so first up, I mean, you can't get more adaptable than being able to survive on Mars, can you? And so Mark Watney in The Martian, I would say, is an incredible, adaptable human being and could very well be a Gemini. Now, I'm not saying that he does this, and takes everything in good stride. There is so much swearing in this, so like, warning if you don't like swearing. I probably don't read this, but the whole idea of this book is he is an astronaut. He goes to Mars with a bunch of astronauts. They're out walking on Mars, and I think something hits him. Like they have some sort of storm, like a rock storm or something along those lines. And he's hit and goes down, like he passes out. Everyone else gets back into the ship and they leave because they think he's dead. He's not dead. And so he has to adapt. He has to like grow food. Luckily he's a botanist, so that helps matters. But he has to somehow get in touch with Earth and let them know, hey, I'm here. Can you come back and get me? I just thought he was unbelievably adaptable. I would just, if it was me, I would just be like, well, it's over. I don't know. I was impressed. So yeah, Mark Watney, 100% adaptable. Another adaptable person I would say is Elizabeth Gilbert in Eat, Pray, Love. This is a memoir and very dirty book. My God, I need to take like a magic eraser to this or something. In any case, so Elizabeth Gilbert was married and she was happy for a time, but she didn't feel like he was the one. They wanted different things. And so we meet her crying on the bathroom floor, realizing she doesn't want to be in this marriage at all anymore. And so what she decides to do is leave America. She goes to Italy to eat. She goes to India to pray and to Indonesia to love. She doesn't plan to fall in love in Indonesia, but things happen. But I found what I find adaptable about Elizabeth Gilbert is she goes to very different places and immediately just throws herself into the culture and what she's there for. Like in Italy, she learns how to speak Italian. In India, she sits for hours and hours and hours trying to meditate. I mean, meditating isn't super easy, but she throws herself into these places. And maybe you do that when you are a traveler, but she just seemed to do it with so much ease. She also happens to fall in love again quite, in my opinion, kind of quickly. Like she's adaptable to big changes happening in her life. So I would say Elizabeth Gilbert is incredibly adaptable. Okay, so this one is another bit of a survivalist story, but it's also dystopian horror. It's The Silence by Tim Leben. In this book, we find out that these archaeologists have unearthed these creatures that hunt by sound, and they start like taking over the world essentially and killing off people, hunting by sound. And we meet a family who are trying to survive. Luckily, they have a daughter who teaches them how to be adaptable because she's deaf and knows how to go through her world without noise and what that looks like. And this is Ali teaching everyone else how to be adaptable. And I thought it was super creepy as well. So there's the silence. Another character who we all know and love, who I think is incredibly adaptable, is Harry Potter. You're a wizard, Harry. And he's like, okay. And just, he learns about being a wizard and what it's like and buying, wands. And he just throws himself into Hogwarts. And he does it really quickly. Very early on in the book, one of the characters, Draco, tries to befriend him, and he has some sense of self and knows like, no, I'm just going to be friends with the people that feel good to me. And I don't know, if you just found out that you were a wizard, wouldn't you just still be trying to get to know everything and just trying to be friends with everyone? I don't know. I thought he was incredibly adaptable to becoming a wizard. Another spacey kind of book is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. So this follows a group of travelers. They're all different species. Humans are at the bottom of the totem pole in this book and in this world. So all of these different species get together and they get on board the Wayfarer. And essentially the crew on the Wayfarer punch holes in the universe to make shortcuts essentially for other space travelers. Is that the accurate wording? You know what I mean. So we meet Rosemary Harper, who joins the ship. And I mean, she had come from, I think, a fairly wealthy family. But the wealthy family was very much in trouble, and she completely and utterly throws herself in with these other characters. The bonds between people, the friendships between these people, just like, it's very heartwarming. It's a heartwarming sci-fi read. And I thought she was really, really adaptable and just, wanted to throw herself into a new situation and embraces it wholeheartedly. I also think Jane is incredibly adaptable. This is Jane Eyre. So you meet Jane when she is a little girl living with her verbally abusive aunt and cousins, and she leaves them, goes to a boarding school, becomes a governess, leaves one night in the middle of the night, and travels without practically a penny to her name. And she really relies on herself. She, maybe because she is an orphan, she has always had to do that, but she is incredibly adaptable to all of her situations. I think because she has that really strong sense of self, what happens around her doesn't really matter because she's always got herself. She's such, I don't know, I just admire Jane so much. I've read this twice in my life. Once when I was in university, so I was like very early 20s. And then once, like very recently, I listened to this on audio while I was giving birth to Nora. I had the epidural at that point. And yeah, I admire her so much for being adaptable. I'm someone who's not incredibly adaptable. I'm a Taurus, and I can very much allow things around me and circumstances around me to really affect me, and that's something that I need to work on. And so all of these people I could really look up to, especially Jane. Okay, last but not least, it's kind of a silly one, and I've talked about it so much on my channel, so I apologize for talking about it again, but I had to talk about Frida Klein from the Frida Klein series in Blue Monday. This is the first in a series. She is a psychotherapist, And she has this case in this book. She has this case of this man who is struggling with infertility with his wife, and he keeps dreaming about this little red-haired boy. He's also red-haired, and he just wants him so much. And then a boy of the same description goes missing like 2 days later. So she gets involved and she goes to the police. What I find Frida Klein very adaptable with is not everything in her life. I mean, she is someone who likes to go home and have home be her home base. It's very cozy, like unbelievably hygge. I love her home. But where she's adaptable is she literally will go from psychotherapist to detective. Like she throws herself into these cases, whether there is a lot of danger there, whether she could die doing it. She doesn't care. She just throws herself into it, and she's a very good detective as much as she's a good psychotherapist. So I think she's a really adaptable person in some ways, but not in all ways. She's such an onion though. So my goodness. So those are all of the books where I find they have incredibly adaptable characters in the forefront as usually main characters. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you are a Gemini, again, happy birthday. I'm wishing you a wonderful one. I hope you get lots of cake. And if you're not a Gemini, I hope you get cake anyway. I will chat with you soon. Bye.